Hello ladies and gents, this is an informal video, just a discussion really regarding the book of Revelation. To make it clear, I'm not saying I am correct, and it's more of a conversation, but it's possibly something to think about. Again, just to reiterate, I'm not some great prophet, I'm not the super duper carrier of the word of God, the great lion of prophecy, or some guy making bold claims I profess to be correct, which then turn out to be utterly wrong. I'm merely God's grasshopper, hoping for a conversation and to see what people think. So let's start off. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now many people believe that the first horse is Christ, and I can fully understand why. As he returns on a white horse, signalling virtue, he was given a crown of glory, and therefore it makes sense. And I'm not saying it's incorrect, but I personally don't fully believe that, because the Lamb, Christ, opens the seals and lets the horseman out, and I do not think he is one of the horsemen. So we are told who sits on the horse has a bow, and I initially took this to mean a bow from a bow and arrow, although no mention of arrows is made. And if we look at the Old Testament, we can see that a bow also means a rainbow. Here in the UK, the signalling of coronavirus was a rainbow. They were displayed everywhere and still are in many windows of many homes. And I noticed a similar thing occurring around the world. And while looking around for rainbows and coronavirus, there is a multitude of different examples, but this one struck me particularly. Perhaps it's confirmation bias, but it's extraordinary to me that we have captured a picture of a rainbow, a lunar corona that surrounds the moon. The moon. Now, we are told this is from water in the atmosphere, but I believe it to be from the waters above the dome. That's besides the point, however. The main point is we can definitely see a link, a correlation between the coronavirus and bows, or rainbows as we now call them. Then we have the fact that corona means crown, and corona or crown has in fact conquered. It has conquered in the name of virtue, hence the white horse, and it is linked with a bow, and our lives are dominated or conquered through it. Then we move on to the second seal. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. This could be a multitude of things. It could be China, or, as I say, an overwhelming amount of things that we just don't know at this point. But we can understand that sword in the Bible also can mean word. We can see the potential that the great sword is in fact a great word. And I think we all know the great word that has been constant in recent times.
Record numbers of Americans are getting vaccinated against the coronavirus.
The U.S., the most vaccinated large nation in the world.
Dozens of countries are now working to vaccinate their populations in an effort to end the global pandemic.
President Biden says that by the end of his first 100 days, the United States is aiming to have administered 200 million doses.
So could this great word eventually be revealed as the mechanism whereby we are killing each other? Could this be what takes peace from the earth, and then we will start to see the devastation that brings us to the next horse? And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Could this be what ushers in full communism, as we are only able to eat grains, meat is off the menu, boys, and the falsely so-called elite will enjoy the wine and the fine things.
And I think that's a good thing, actually, because everyone, when something good happens, wants to celebrate with a bit of bubbly, and we're actually going to remove the completely irrational duty premium that those drinks currently bear. They're no more alcoholic than still wine, but yet they pay a lot more duty. That seems to me to be unfair and silly, and I'd like to be able to sort that out.
Celebrating with champagne, maybe not those that are struggling to feed their kids, but that's perhaps for another day. Carbon emissions, is that the best place for you to be this morning?
Well, actually, on that point,
if I could ask the question, because we're almost out of time. You are at a meat market today. Why are you in a meat market when we're told to eat less meat to try and cut down on carbon emissions?
I'm not telling anyone to eat less meat.
You're not telling people to eat less meat, but your chief scientific advisor is to try and cut down on carbon emissions.
Then we have the fourth horse. That also sounds like it's going to suck heavily. And then we have the opening of the fifth seal, which I believe to be a heavenly occurrence. The sixth seal, there is a great earthquake and the sun and the moon become black. We can see this in Revelation chapter 8. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. So could this be how the days are shortened? And to read again from the Bible, and unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved but for the elect's sake. So once again, this is speculation, it's me thinking out loud, but is it possible that there is some sort of solar powered robots, machines, electronics, etc. that run on solar power? That's what happened in the Matrix. Not that that's anything to go by, but it's interesting they tried to cut the machine's power by the sun. Once again, to reiterate, I'm not saying I'm correct, it's just interesting, and in many ways it does tie in with what we're seeing.